All right, welcome to the Let It Fly Show. I'm Michael Severe, joined by Josh Jones, of course, Creighton University and Omaha Central. How is your summer?
Bro.
It's almost over. Kids are getting ready to go back to school.
Yeah, I've been kicking it, man. Like, I've been really taking this time to do everything that I want to do except for a vacation.
Okay, all right.
So when I say I've been kicking it, I've been in the gym with my son.
Busy.
Yep. I've been, at home chasing my daughter around.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget about her.
Yep.
And then just outside.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I got a little darker, I think.
Got a little tan?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we were out. You get out there and that sun gets to you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I got to get some water.
Yeah, we've been in the pool a lot.
Oh, you have? Okay.
sure.
Yeah, that even.
Yeah, what about you, bro?
That's more so.
You've been traveling.
We travel a little bit, yeah. We went down to New Orleans, helped my mom at my old sister's place and get rid of stuff. And then we went to Yosemite in California.
Ah, man.
That was nice. We were
sure.
watching a thing where there's this one guy who's been to all 59 of the national parks.
Really?
And we were
That's gotta be a Guinness
we wouldn't
book.
mind doing it. Other people have done it. He did it for CBS. He does something for CBS Sunday Morning.
Okay.
And he's been to all 59 of them. You know, that's like Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, the whole country, 59 of them. So we wouldn't mind doing that. We are, of course, inside the podcast studio, inside the Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capitol District, an elevated place to come check out sports, get something good to eat, and hang out with your friends as well. Of course, brought to you by Bud Light, which is our presenting sponsor of the Let It Fly Show. They make it
easy.
Damn easy.
We appreciate you.
Easy to drink and easy to enjoy as well. I want to remind you, Monday through Friday, you got specials. We tape this on a Tuesday. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
It comes out on a Wednesday.
The wings.
You got Wing Wednesday. Dollar Wing Wednesday. And then you get the Thursday stuff with the steak and frites. You got Friday.
And French dip.
French dip. And then Monday you got some pizza, different kind of specials on Monday, and drink specials as well throughout the week, whether you're checking out the regular happy hour from 3 to 6 or reverse happy hour from 10 to 1 a.m.
Man.
You know where I am at 1 a.m.? Sleep. I'm not reverse happy
you know
hour.
Where I'm
sleeping. Where you at?
A deep sleep.
A deep sleep. There you go. Hey, no doubt about that. I'm a little bit older. I'm probably going to the bathroom at some point. Get him and going to the bathroom.
Funny, man.
On the show today, special guest, former Nebraska, longtime assistant coach George Darlington will join us. Of course, runs Football 101. Has been coaching that and coaching the fans for like 40 years, doing it both in Omaha and Lincoln. We'll talk more about his Football 101 and getting to some Nebraska stuff with him as well. He still comes up every game.
Yeah.
He's in the press box.
Yeah.
He sits off to my left. And every time they make a mistake on special teams, he's like, "What are you doing? What are you catch the ball? What are you?" It just gets every time.
But I like it though.
Every
because,
time.
Like his expectation is legit though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if he says some shit, it's for real.
His expectation is not making mistakes.
Yeah.
And over the last 10 years, Nebraska special teams made a lot of mistakes. So he's been pretty mad about that.
Right.
Let's do some headlines.
Okay.
On Saturday, we had open practice.
Yep.
So we got a chance to go watch, see everything, check out the wide receivers.
What was the eye test?
Okay, so the thing that jumps out to you, if you go out to practice and say you've never even been to a Nebraska practice, the first thing that would jump out at you is the size of the wide receivers.
Dang.
They went out and they got, so you have this, one of the starters, Dane Key,
6'3".
wasn't practicing. He wasn't practicing. He's got something. He was off on the bike.
Yep.
But you got one guy in Quinn Clark who's 6'5".
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Keelan Smith is a solid 6'3".
Yeah, I know about him.
And then you got another guy who's 6'4", 6'5", and Jeremiah Jones. Just these big guys going around. Then, of course, you got Barney, who's a little bit smaller. And Isaiah Hunter was about 6'1". But the size of their wide receivers, the physicality of their wide receivers stands out.
How does that how do you put that up against other teams in the conference?
Well, I would say size-wise, they're comparable or bigger.
Wow.
Because now those guys are young. Jeremiah Jones is probably not going to play much this year.
Yep.
I think Keelan Smith will. He proved in practice that he's one of the better guys on the team.
Okay.
And then the other guy that's kind of interesting is Quinn Clark. Now, Quinn Clark and Keelan Smith, both their dads played at Nebraska.
Yeah.
One was a running back, one was a defensive lineman, and they're big guys.
Gotcha.
And so they may get a chance.
Yeah.
They may get a chance to play. Right now, they've got kind of their starting four.
Yep.
And then one of those young guys is going to be the fifth.
Yep.
But, I mean, the defensive line has got a bunch of bodies. Really like, we talk about special teams.
Yep.
They got this punter from Australia.
Okay.
His last name's Archie. And he kicks with both feet. He's a rugby kicker, so he rolls out, can kick with his right.
Rugby kickers are legit.
And he goes to the left and kick with his left, too.
Right.
Pin the ball inside the 10 a couple times. They went 9 for 9 on field goals.
Dude.
They had rush field goals. They had 3 kickers, and nobody missed.
I hate to talk about this.
Yeah, okay.
But what's up with that special teams?
Well, I'm saying, The special teams, the punter played much better.
I get that, but I'm saying, do you feel like this is the year where special teams turn around?
It's going to be better because Mike Eckler, who is the special teams coach, doesn't have bad special teams. Let me give you an example. Okay, so just off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, Nebraska over the last 5 years has had like 12 punts they've given up to people that have come back for 20 or more yards, right? They punted it off, and they've returned.
Right.
The 4 years that Eckler was at Tennessee, they had 4.
Damn.
They allowed 4.
Damn.
2 of those years, they allowed 0.
Wow.
So and then on the other side of it, they had more 20-yard or more returns than anybody in the country.
Damn.
They had like 22 of them.
So you believe in the coach?
I believe that he is going to coach them up.
Listening.
And he went out and got his own guys. He went out and got Archie, the Australian kid. He went out and got a guy named Kananen, who's the field goal kicker who he brought in. They brought in a brand new snapper, guy who's been at New Hampshire. So
what's up with my boy Tristan
Alvano? So he's kind of like the odd man out. He's still got a shot. You know, I mean, here's what he's got to do. And I tell him this. Stick with it. Keep doing, keep getting stronger, keep kicking, because you never know. Yeah. Just like he got hurt and somebody kind of replaced him, somebody else could get hurt.
Fact.
And, the Kananen kid could get injured, and then there's a hole behind him, and you never know what will happen. So
for sure,
you got to just keep staying, keep going, and staying. That. So it was a good open practice. We saw a lot of good stuff. But, I mean, really those wide receivers stand out.
Yep.
They really do. The first college football poll for 2025, the coaches poll came out this past week.
All right.
And if you're wondering about Nebraska, so I'll give you the top 5.
No, I was about to say, give me the top
5. Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, and Notre Dame.
Now, can you tell me where Michigan at? They got to be in top 15 at least.
So Michigan is number 14.
Yeah, okay.
Number 14.
All right.
They play Nebraska week 4 of the season.
Week 4
of the season.
We there.
Get ready for that.
Yes, sir.
Nebraska, in the other receiving votes, they're not in the top 25, but in the other receiving votes, they received 19 votes. If you add up from 25 to where they are, they'd be like around 37 is where they would have them ranked 37, 38.
I think that's improvement. I mean,
I
mean, like, think about where we were to where we are now today.
Big Ten teams, you got Ohio State, Penn State. You got Oregon.
Yeah.
You got Illinois at 12, Michigan at 14.
You see how Indiana is still consistent?
Indiana 19.
Yeah.
That's 6 total ones, and then that's it. So 6 total Big Ten teams that are in here in the top 25. And just missing, USC is in there. They're right in Iowa. They're receiving votes as well. And then, of course, Nebraska.
Right.
So that is your early coaches poll to get it started. It doesn't matter where you start.
It's where you finish,
It's where you finish, baby.
That's true.
Speaking of that, the Aftershocks.
Damn.
Won the 2025 TBT.
Anyway.
And the $1 million prize. You got 10 players and 4 coaches. So each person, if you do the math, $71,428.
You know what? I'm not a hater,
TBT.
Bro. You know why? Because
the Aftershocks.
Like, I'm cool with some of them dudes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know them all, some of the young fellas, but, you know, I played against some of them.
Okay.
And we in another conference, so I can give it up, bro.
Okay. Good job by Wichita State to win.
Respect, Aftershock.
And then the last thing, kind of a 3B, the Omaha Supernovas that was announced on Monday are going to be joining Major League Volleyball.
Wait, is that new shit? Or
So, the Omaha Supernovas, the team, they're going to be joining the new league. It's a new
But the federation, though.
They no longer are going to be in the Volleyball Federation.
So they're taking the franchise and they're going to Death Row.
Yeah, so it was it was the Pro Football Federation, right?
Yep.
You take all those teams, plus Dallas, D.C., and they have a Northern California team.
Word.
They're all going to make up this new league, the MLV. You got Atlanta, Columbus, Dallas, Grand Rapids, Indianapolis, Omaha, Orlando, and San Diego.
Oh, that's lit.
You add in Washington, D.C., which is going to join in 2027, and Northern California, which will join in 2026. So those are your new teams, and congratulations to the Storm Chasers for being a part of that brand new league. I'm sure they'll still be good. They'll have lots of former Nebraska players.
For
so
sure.
That's what makes it. All right, let's go to our guest. That's going to be George Darlington, former assistant coach at the University of Nebraska. When we come back here on the Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome to the Let It Fly Show. We are back with our guest this week, longtime assistant coach at Nebraska and also founder and instructor for about 40 years of Football 101 down there in Lincoln and in Omaha. George Darlington, how you doing, Coach?
Good. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you again. It is. Let's start off with that Football 101 because how does a man who is busy as you were when you were a coach, You're recruiting all over the country. Obviously, you're coaching the defensive backs and more. How did you manage to do both of those at the same time?
Well, I recruited California. People were still practicing, so Thursday night I'd have the class.
Oh.
By the time the class was over, I'd come home and have some supper and then get on the phones.
And call out there.
Yeah, because they were just coming off the practice field, so it timed out beautifully. And
yeah.
I began teaching the class when Jim Hughey moved to Wyoming. His wife had respiratory problems, and I provided him with 16 millimeter film at that time.
Wow.
And he said, well, why don't you teach the class? And I thought, well, okay. And so I bounced around and taught it for a while, and then it kind of caught on. And we usually averaged 125 students.
Wow.
Wow.
And I had a lot of fun with it.
So how long has this been going on? And what are some notables that you feel like went on that can say that the course has helped them in their coaching career?
Well, I don't know about helping the coaches, but a lot of the fans were extremely bright.
Right.
And I had a 95-year-old grandmother in the class.
Yeah.
And she was as sharp as a tack. And you better be on your game with her because she knew it well. We had a Roman Catholic nun that took the class one time, and
Sister Mary.
we would go out on the field when the weather was good, early September, and run plays. And she didn't have a habit on. She just had regular clothes, but we had her at eye back and turned and pitched her the ball, and she ran 20 yards into the end zone because at that time Roger Craig, when he went to the pros, he was doing that, and it kind of shocked them. Where did you learn to always run every play into the end zone?
Even in practice.
And he said, well, at Nebraska, we always did that.
Wow.
And then she did it. Why was it important for you to get that information out and even the film out for everyday fans who wanted to take your class? Why was it important for you to do that?
Well, it was great to see people that wanted to learn, and they would learn things that made it more enjoyable. Like me going to a soccer game. I don't know one thing or another about soccer.
Yeah.
But, and then to see students that really gained a lot of knowledge. And I used to tell them early in the class, now you have to understand, you're going to learn things your husbands don't know.
Right.
And we average about 4 divorces a year. So you have to treat them kindly because you were dumb enough to marry him. So we used to have a lot of fun like
That's
that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
The classes in Omaha get started on September 23rd and run through October 28th. And that's over at Faithful Shepherd Presbyterian Church is where you can go. And part of that is a tour of Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, one night.
And the new facility.
Yes.
That must be beautiful.
It's a palace. It really is. It's just, amazing.
Yeah, it is. $160 million. It should be nice.
Yeah. So what's the largest class you ever had? Because as I'm thinking about the Roman Catholic nuns and,
Well, I limited it to 125 because after a while it'd get too Rhule, too many people. I could have brought a picture up in the stands of one of the classes sitting there for a picture like a team.
Yep.
And so that way, students didn't feel like they were just a number and couldn't ask questions. And I always tell them, and I'll tell them this year at the 2 classes, there is no such thing as a dumb question.
Right.
Ask the question because people sitting around you probably have the same thing in mind, but they don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah. They always told me there's no dumb questions. Just dumb,
I'm that guy
dumb
that be
people.
like, Michael, should I ask this?
Ask what you want to ask. We will put up the number that you can call for this to ask about it, and also how you can find out. It's $65.
Yes.
But you get a bunch of weeks of these classes, either Tuesday in Omaha and then Thursday in Lincoln. So we'll put out more information for this as well. You started at Nebraska, hired in 1973?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
First coaching hire for Coach Osborne?
Yeah, I was on his original staff.
Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, we had gotten fired at San Jose State.
How did that come about?
That's how it's like, well, you got fired.
And Tom knew Dewey King from Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and they must have been together the night before this breakfast. And Tom called and said, are you going to the breakfast? Well, I was planning to go. And he said, I'd like to chat with you. And so I went there and had a 5-minute conversation and figured, I'll never hear from this guy again.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, because the convention went about 4 days, he called my wife and said, tell your husband not to take another job till I get back to him. Mm. Well, I called her after their conversation, and she was jumping through the phone, and she said, do you know who called me? And I said, no. So that's how.
That's awesome.
Head coach of Nebraska calling you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so this is the time when Johnny the Jet Rogers was around, right?
Well, he was in jail at that time. He would go to school, and then he'd go to jail because he had already played. So obviously I know Johnny real well. But, he was.
73 was his last year.
Yeah.
Right. He was his last year, and then he had to go make up the
73.
time.
73. Yeah. I thought it was 74.
No, 72 he won the Heisman. The 73, it was the Orange Bowl, and then after that, that's when you start to coach. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And, so West Virginia is where you grew up, but you went to Rutgers. How did you end up in Jersey from West Virginia?
Well, the coach came to Charleston and talked to 3 or 4 of us. Mm-hmm. Rutgers had no scholarships.
Oh, really?
But said, if you're interested, we can have you come and be on the freshman team. I'd never even been in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's how I ended up there. And one thing I'll always remember, we went to the cafeteria, my mom and dad and I, and they had green beans. Well, they had northern green beans.
Oh, yeah, it's different, yeah.
They don't know how to cook green beans. And my mother, was like, what are we sending our poor son?
Yeah. What position do you think he played?
I was thinking about that.
What position do you think he played?
I think that you played I-back.
No. He was a lineman.
Oh, man.
Defense, offensive line, both ways, right?
Yeah, and the offense and defensive end.
Yeah.
Plus 1 year, you weren't able to be on the field only a certain amount of time each half.
Really?
And so if you were going to substitute a whole group, the officials would line you up, and they had a little card, and they would mark you off, and then you'd go and play. And then if you tried to get on the field again in proper time, he'd say, no, well, you can't be on the field. You were on. So
why was that a thing?
I don't know.
Because that's back when you guys were basically Iron Men. You were playing both ways, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Both ways.
And
probably just for, the
safety of it, yeah.
But when did that, stop? When did they...
That lasted about a year or 2 years at the most.
Right.
Yeah. But it was... it's like grade school kids lining up to go to recess.
Sorry, you can't come in. Sorry, you got to go.
Wow.
George Darlington joining us, of course, former assistant coach at Nebraska and a longtime coach and founder of Football 101. Go ahead, Josh.
I just love this here. I mean, for me as a fan, I want to talk about the current Huskers.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about do you give out Kool-Aid at these things? Because the Huskers have not been the Huskers of old, and Husker Faithful is one of the greatest fan bases I've ever witnessed, been a part of, just being a Nebraska kid myself. What's your take on the state of the current Huskers from where it's been a drought?
Yeah, where they were to where they are now.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, they're attempting to build it back, and it's just it's a tough thing. When we came, they had won 2 national championships,
right?
And then the next year, Johnny's last year, they lost a couple games, but mauled Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And then, we won 9 or more games every year for 30 years, except one.
Yep.
And we had good players, and they have to build it up, and they're trying to do that.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because I certainly hope the best for them. I enjoy going to practice and watching what they do. But being a big mouth, I saw the AD when he first came.
Yeah.
And he was coming out of the locker room, and I introduced myself, and I said, "What is a winning season at Nebraska?"
Right.
And he mumbled around a little bit, and he said, "Well, I guess winning 6 games." I said, No. A winning season is 9 or more.
Right.
And Nelson Barnes, who joined our staff from Texas, he's the one that came up with that. He said, you don't have a winning season here till you win 9 or more games.
That's a legendary expectation.
And you need to get back to that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been a while since that happened.
Amen. Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about, because you're up there in the press box, and I hear you, especially during special teams. They're not catching the punt when they should. They've had such poor special teams last 5, 6, 7 years, almost going back 10 years. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think their philosophy and approach to things weren't what it should have been. I think now they're on the right track in many ways. The coach is doing a good job, and Coach Foley, who's a special teams coach, is still there also.
And now Mike Eckler's there, the new guy. Yeah,
and Mike's doing an excellent job and very demanding. I tell people this, and you can look it up. In 2002, we had almost 1,000 yards in punt returns. And
the DeJuan Gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, we had Cornelison, a white guy that looked like a Muslim during the killings in New York. In fact, another player stayed with him at the Rose Bowl for a couple days to go home with him, so he wouldn't be.
Well, after 9/11,
Yeah, and but anyway, we averaged 75 yards a punt return.
Dang.
We never let a ball drop unless they kicked it out of bounds.
Right. Yeah.
And in essence, we returned every ball that was punted.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had a philosophy, which we picked up from another coach, of 40-30.
Right.
When we punt, we want to have a net 40 yards after the game. When they punt, we want to have 30 or less, in other words. And we averaged 75 yards a punt return. We had 3 or 4 for touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I feel like the answer to the question, I guess, in general, is that expectation. When you say winning 9 games is a winning season versus 6 games, you can talk like you're talking. And I think that personally, especially from hearing you as a former coach, we're trying to inch back to success, but trying to figure out what that looks like, and just being optimistic on just 1 more game or 2 more games a year, when really it's like, nope, we're not winning until what you said. I love it.
Well, that's the thing and they're, doing a good job of coaching them and their practices, etc. And hopefully they'll
are the practices kind of like you? Do they look like the way you guys used
multiple
to operate?
stations and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Doing that again. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They're all over the place.
You go to practice quite a bit. I know Matt Rhule talks about it. He likes having you there. What is your relationship with Coach Rhule like?
He's very open.
Wow.
And really nice to talk with. He's a guy that if you had a thought, he would accept it. He may not agree, but he wouldn't look at you like, you're an announcer, you don't know crap. And,
right.
I
respect that.
He's open.
He's very open.
Okay.
And he doesn't act like he knows it all. He wants to do it right, wants to win. He's committed. And he's really a good guy.
That's good.
There's a great quote I saw that you talked about. I believe it was a Tom Osborne quote. And this is talking about what you're saying about, football's, it's simple.
Yeah.
You got to play better than you did last week and play the best of your ability. That's all you can be accountable for. You do that, play the best. It's like every day you get better. That's what it requires.
Well, we, for all those years, very, very seldom ever talked about winning.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
We just, everything was to get better and all that. And the game we lost supposedly
to Penn State
in the Orange Bowl.
Oh no, okay.
When they gave him a touchdown when the ball.
Oh, against Florida State.
Yeah, they fumbled on
William Floyd fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we ran a punt back for a touchdown. They called back.
Clipping. Yeah.
But after that game, there was never a thing by Tom getting down on the guys saying, if we had only, etc. Guys laid it on the line. They did the best they could. And sometimes, that isn't going to be good enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, the next year we won national championship.
Yeah.
And then the next year after that. And
I always say that, obviously you guys went with unfinished business in 94.
Yeah,
but
sure.
The way you lost to a Florida State team that was really favored over you guys, missing the field goal at the end, seemed like that drove the offseason to the point where when 94 came around, you guys were just ready to go.
Well, yeah, and we got screwed in the game.
Yep.
There's no question. I mean, the fumble inside the one, we recovered. They gave him a touchdown. We ran a punt back for a touchdown. When the return man is almost ready to score, all of a sudden there's a phantom flag.
Yep.
Right.
And, there's sometimes things like that happen in life.
Yep.
And that's why Tom did, a great job with the way he approached it. Hey, we did everything we could. You don't need to hang your head.
Yeah. I like that philosophy. I feel like I've never thought about don't get caught up on winning. Just do the best you can with effort and things like that.
Well, look at this fat guy in the middle here. We can say to him that we want you to run a 500 meters.
Yeah, that's not happening
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. We can say that, and he can go out and try.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
Right.
And, it's only do the best you can.
Yeah.
If you can look in the mirror every night when you're brushing your teeth and say, I did everything I could today. I paid attention in class. Went hard every snap.
Wow.
And one of the fellows we had mentioned, Ralph Brown, that's how he made it so long because that's how he practiced and that's how he played.
Respect.
He was not one of the most talented guys I ever coached.
Yeah.
And yet he accomplished a great deal.
Yep, no doubt.
I see a lot of people with championship rings, different sports. I see and I look at yours or whatever. So if we're at a party and I walk up to you and I want to hear something about that ring, give us a story from accomplishment to what you're wearing on your finger.
Is it the 94 ring or what ring is that?
95.
The 95 ring.
This was the best college football team that was ever assembled.
I know. I was showing somebody yesterday, Googling it.
Yeah, just showing the numbers.
Gym. Yeah, they were debating about
I see the
somebody else.
two footballs. Yeah.
Well, the other team they talk about as the team that beat us in the Rose Bowl. But the difference was they had an average quarterback.
Yeah.
And, the bookies had said after the game we would have been a favorite. Now, it doesn't mean we would have won.
Right.
But the point is we were exceptional team, and the approach that Tom developed with how we practiced and stuff like that was unique.
Yeah.
And people, some of them attempted to follow it.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is the kids expected to win.
Man.
And, obviously they would know, this Oklahoma's going to be a tough game.
For sure.
Stuff like that. But they never went in with the idea we were going to go get beat.
Right.
They went in with the idea we're going to win.
Right.
Yep.
And, that they had that mindset. They worked towards it. And, we would face teams sometimes, and also other good teams would too, where once you scored once, the game was over.
Yeah, I understand
They would pack it in.
Yep.
They wouldn't play you hard the whole game.
Right.
They expected to lose. If you enforced that expectation, then the rest is a lot easier.
Yep. George Darlington joining us here on Let It Fly Show. So you say that, and we talk about how many times Nebraska has lost close games over these last 5 or 6 years. So these are games that are one-touchdown games, and they continually lose them. What are they doing wrong, or what are they not doing right to be able to win those close games? Because the majority of the games nowadays, so many teams are even, you're going to have to win those 3 7-point games.
Well, some of it is recruiting. I mean, if you can improve your talent, that makes it makes it easier.
Yep.
The way they practice hard towards those last minute and a half games.
Mm-hmm.
They do drills around the field to do that. They're doing the things that you have to do.
Right.
But the bottom line is you have to do it on the field.
Got you.
And in some cases, it's, your talent is not good enough to get it done all the time.
No matter how hard you go, though, right?
Yeah. And really, if you only evaluate players on how hard they played and effort they gave, you have no reason to be upset with them or yourself.
Got you.
You didn't, you weren't involved with the biology.
Right.
Now, you try to recruit better, you do all those things. But if you do everything needs to be done, then you just have to let the arrows fly.
I'm going to take this to basketball.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach my son like this.
So you mentioned recruiting. Give me a story of a guy that you really wanted to get that ended up going someplace else. You put a lot of effort in it, and he went someplace else.
Oh, maybe one of the McKays, but, it looked like he was going to come to our place. But then his dad decided, well, this is ridiculous. Have him come to SC instead.
Yeah, right.
One of John McKay's sons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a situation one time in Carolina, and I should have stayed there all night. But and the funniest recruiting story was with Bobby Galano when I was recruiting him out of Stockton, and went to the school in the morning of the signing, and or the day before the signing, and the athletic director and coach said, go back to the hotel. He'll call you by noon and let you know if he's going to commit to Cal or commit to y'all. And so I go back to the hotel, and I'm watching soap operas and all that stuff. Finally, about 11, I got tired. I said, heck with this. So I went over to see the coach, and he said, look, all bets are off. Cal came in and got him out of school and said his sister was sick.
Oh,
and said,
sneaky.
You can do anything you feel necessary to get him back.
Right.
So I went over to the house and knocked on the door. His mother was very kind, invited me in, sat down. I'm watching all the soap operas in that venue and chatted with the mom. And finally the dad came in. Now the dad was a small Filipino who fought in World War II.
Oh, okay.
And he was at the Army barracks. And he came in and he said, "Where is Bobby?" I said, "They kidnapped him." His eyes, "Where is Bobby?"
Yeah.
They kidnapped him. And he went off the air. Well, about 10 minutes later, a very well-dressed man came to the door and wanted to get clothes for Bobby for that night.
Right.
And the dad, needless to say, read him a riot act.
I bet.
And so Bobby came sheepishly back to the house. Now, again, I'm sitting on the couch watching soap operas. Mm-hmm. The mom, the dad, the director of athletics, I guess, went in
the like
bedroom.
AD.
Yeah.
And they're in there talking, and I'm just sitting watching stuff. And they came out, and they say, "Bobby is coming to Nebraska."
Dang.
And, of course, we hugged and all that stuff. Well, I knew Cal was not going to quit. So the next morning I got up and got in front of his house, probably 6:30 at the earliest, and a big Cadillac drove up, and this well-dressed man came out of there, and I got out of the car, and it had a narrow walkway up to the steps.
They walked together?
Yeah. And he said, I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I came to congratulate Bobby on committing to Cal."
Oh.
And I said, "He ain't committing to Cal."
Right.
So we walked up the stairs and knocked on the door, and Bobby's sister came, just got out of bed.
Yeah.
And so that was
Dang.
That was an interesting story.
And you won that battle.
Yes.
That's cool to hear.
It was so different back then because even when I first got in the business, coaches were there at the announcement. Like they can't be there now. They were there to the point where they're recruiting guys as they're walking across the gym floor to go make their announcement. In different colors, outfits, and it was wild, wild west back then.
That's kind of cool, though. I like the competition part.
It was good competition.
Well, the thing is, sometimes the head coaches would be in the living room and the recruit and the parents would be in the next bedroom trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah. Wow.
No doubt.
I have a question about this again.
Yeah.
So, what days of the week? Since it's 7 a week. Oh, 7
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays in Omaha.
Got you.
And then Thursdays in Lincoln.
Okay.
And we go from A to Z in football. It's not a tell stories type of class. It's teaching. We have a textbook and want to make sure that they learn and they grow. And so each week we have different phases of football. We have highlights from the previous game and then highlights of the next opponent so that they would know what the next opponent looks like and stuff like that.
Right. And that's for the current season.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is awesome. It's awesome. It's one of those things.
I know.
And as much as we love to think we know a lot about football, coaches know so much, obviously more.
Exactly.
And so learning from a coach, especially when it's done it and did it as long as you did. So it's definitely worth $65.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a good time with it.
Amen.
Give me your prediction. What do you think about Nebraska this year? 2025 Nebraska Cornhuskers. What do you think?
Well, I think they'll play 13 games.
I like that.
So they'll make a bowl game.
That's something he would say.
So they'll make a bowl game. So you think they'll win at least 6 games?
Well, you just never know. Like they have a very difficult opening game. You're playing a team you don't know that much about.
Cincinnati.
Even though it's at
a
a neutral, so not neutral space.
Yeah, it'll be more in our favor fan-wise.
Yep.
Right.
But you just never know.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the funny stories we had in preparing for a game, it was our first game against University of Birmingham or somebody, Alabama and Birmingham, and they'd been a 4 wide out team all the year before. And we'd studied that, and we were prepared. They left their script from their warm-up on Friday out on the field.
Wow.
We always had a manager police the field. We never went upstairs and skunked them or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
He brings in the sheet of paper, bone left, bone right, bone split.
Yeah.
So after the movie on Friday night with the players, while they're eating their snack, we said, now look, we haven't practiced against the wishbone at all this fall camp.
Yeah.
But you remember, this is how we play this and this.
Right.
So we were prepared because
did they actually come out in the bone? They came out
wow. The whole game.
Okay, I thought maybe they might have put a fake script out just in case.
I've seen that before.
They've done the fake script before, so I was thinking maybe that. Well, the story I always hear from former players, it was a game against North Texas where they came out and their defensive line was like a yard and a half off the ball, almost like the flex defense, and it kind of threw you guys for the first half. You went in halftime, made some adjustments, and then fixed it. Yeah.
Wow.
That first game can be tricky. You never know what they're going to come out in.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea. Plus, you count on certain players on your team. You expect them to do well.
Yep.
Some of them won't.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. There'll be others that we hope will do well that'll do real well. And again, you have to adjust to what they're doing offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last thing from me, give me your favorite player. All these guys you've coached all these years.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I'll mention one that'll draw some feedback, I guess. I'd say Lawrence Phillips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, for sure.
He's the greatest running back in the history of the program.
Lawrence was a guy that really was team-oriented. He had a lot of problem situations when he grew up. Mm-hmm. And he just, cared about the team.
Yeah.
He didn't care if he carried it once or 100 times. He was a team-oriented guy. And, it's hard to just pick out one because I was blessed with so many good players.
Yeah. Could you imagine being homeless at like fourth grade? He was like living on the streets.
I remember Coach Osborne talked to Michael and I about Lawrence, and he said that he loved all the team like sons. Yeah. And there were people who wanted him out, like when he would make a mistake, but Coach Osborne would make the tough decision to keep him and never give up on him.
Yeah. Yep. He said, without football,
exactly.
Wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah,
that's powerful. I can respect that.
Yeah, because after the Michigan State game, when we had 3 players over 100 yards, was when he got in trouble and really was home in bed, and 2 girls got him out of bed, and he went over and slapped a guy or something like that. But Tom didn't give up on him, and he's a great running back.
Yep.
And players that played with him had the utmost respect for him. And one of the Outland Trophy winners at the dinner they had after meeting they had after he was killed out in California. Yeah. And it was unscripted. Nobody knew except players and people there. And he said, I'm not going to say he's the best running back that ever played in Nebraska, but he said, I think he was the best running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And
that line is I can't say he's the best, but there was no one better.
There you
There
go.
was no one better than him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, in practice, nobody wanted to try to form up against him because he'd run over.
Yeah, he was a big guy with speed too. Coach, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We'll make sure we get more information out about Football 101. Thanks for continuing to do this. It's better to have educated fans out there that know what's happening and knows what's going on.
Well, it is, and that's the purpose of the class. It really is. Wanting to, so people expand their knowledge.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll get a question from students that I can't answer. And I'll ask you, smart men, to answer this question. Okay, you know what a football looks like, right?
Yes, I do. It's oblong.
Okay. 2 panels have writing on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
2 other panels don't.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
My answer would be because by the laces, I think
The panels by the laces are colored.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just thinking some theory about gripping the football. I really don't have any.
So
answer
we're talking
outside of
about the college football, the Duke
Yeah.
Duke football. I don't know why. Why?
Well, he's close to it. The other panels don't have any paint on them.
that. Right.
Well, in the old days when I played, a football had the circle all the way around.
Sure.
And it was hard for the quarterback, and they would slip because their thumb would always be on the paint too.
Yeah.
But this way, if your fingers are on the laces, your thumb is on the non-painted side.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So you have a lot better
You
control.
want me to tell you what my theory of
Wouldn't be
that
slippery.
came from?
What?
Throwing the football with my son.
Yeah.
And I was trying to show him the laces, and something in my brain said, I feel like they did it like this so I can grip the football.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
exactly right.
Which is funny now because in some of those high-paced offenses, they don't even have them grip the laces anymore. You just catch it and get rid of it. Catch, rock, and throw.
Yeah.
You don't even do it. You got to get rid of it so quickly.
No doubt.
So, but you got big enough hands and you'll be all right.
I might
You'll be all
sign
right.
up for this course. I love talking to you.
Well,
I would like for you to sign up for the course.
Yeah, because you know me. You know me. Like, I mean,
that would be good
so
stuff.
I'm a
That would be
J-sker,
good.
played for Creighton.
Yep.
Born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Almost went to Nebraska. But I'm always asking him questions about the Huskers. I know the basis as far as watching on TV. I want us to win, and I know when we're doing something bad.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's all I can say. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I hope you will join us.
Hey, man.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks
Good.
again.
Thank you so
you.
much, Coach. Sincerely.
Thanks a lot.
Coach
Yes,
George
sir.
Darlington here on the Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly Show. Thanks to George Darlington.
I know.
Cool
man.
dude, got
you
old
know
stories.
What I couldn't get past?
What?
Looking at that ring.
The ring.
Of the greatest team of all time in college football.
1995
Yes.
Nebraska Cornhuskers. They only had one team they played all year that was within 14 points of them. And one of the crazy stats about that is they barely had any penalties all year. Didn't lose a fumble. They were just like they were as good as you could be.
They were just like the
It was
greatest team
crazy.
of all time.
He was referencing the 2001 Miami team, the Hurricanes, and they were great.
Ken Dorsey.
Very talented.
I
The
remember he
quarterback.
took
Ken Dorsey was the quarterback.
Man.
And they were very talented.
Yeah.
But I will say they had 2 games that year. They had a game against Boston College. They had to win at the end, right? And then, of course, in the national championship game, or before that, they had the game against Virginia Tech and they had a game against BC. They're both close.
Yes.
Nebraska didn't play any close games.
I know.
They really didn't. They had the one game against Washington State.
I remember that Miami team.
Yeah, it was
because
loaded.
I was impressed of how good they were.
It was a loaded team. They
Yeah.
had something like 17 first-round picks over from 2002 and 2002 and 2003.
Right.
So the people who were on that team that next year, that next draft, and the draft after it, they had something like 17 first-rounders.
No
It's
doubt.
incredible. They were incredibly talented. But that Nebraska team, if you just look at the stats and look how good they were defensively and how good they were offensively, they were as dominant as any team ever. And they also beat like the number 2 team, the number 3 team, the number 5 team in the country. So,
but let me ask you this.
Yeah, ask me that.
Was Michigan or Nebraska better?
In 97?
Come on.
In 97.
Who?
So this is how I always think this game, and I am completely, I'm not biased on this at all. I didn't grow up a Nebraska fan.
Yeah.
I was outside of this. Matter of fact, in 97, I was in Monroe, Louisiana.
Word.
Okay.
Okay.
Working.
Okay.
So I will tell you this. the defense for Michigan was one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah.
Right? They were number one in the country. The offense for Nebraska was one of the best in the country.
Right.
Based off of how they played all year long and the common opponents, I think Nebraska would have been a favorite in the game. Because based off of how they played Colorado
that's as far
and
as
how that game, if you look at that, so all you can do is common opponents a lot of times.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think Nebraska would have been able to move the ball enough on the ground eventually against Michigan. I don't know if Michigan's offense was good enough to move the ball against Nebraska's defense in 95. I just don't know. I don't think so. So I think Nebraska have been favored by like 4 or 5, something like that in the game, and I think they would have probably beaten them, in a neutral site. But right now, we never get to see it. We never get to see Penn State play Nebraska in 94.
Right.
We didn't get to see Michigan and Nebraska in 97. Sometimes you don't know. But you know what you do in 95? Be that dominant where there's no other conversation. And that's what they were. So thank you again to George Darlington for coming in. Also, Dion sitting in for Caleb.
My man, thank you.
Producing the show as well. We appreciate him for coming in. Mike Allen, of course, who puts us all together as well.
Yes,
and Stable Gray, the video team for us, and our presenting sponsor, Bud Light, making it
easy.
Whether you're doing basketball, football, you're winning millions of dollars in TBT.
Crazy, bro.
Whatever you're doing, easy drinking, easy to enjoy.
Right.
Bud Light. And remember, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right. Like it as well. Wherever you're listening to the show or watching the show, like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Next week on the show, Omaha World Herald columnist will help us preview the football season for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I can't wait.
Tom Patel will join us next week on the show. We tape next Tuesday and drop, of course, on Wednesday. Josh, take us away.
Hey, Josh Jones here with Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.